Political landscape, a troubling development is becoming increasingly difficult to ignore. From disrupted demonstrations and chaotic public gatherings to violent confrontations during political events, the presence of organized groups of goons has emerged as a growing concern. But who are these individuals? Who funds them, and what does their rise say about the state of Kenya's democracy? We get back to our discussion here with Dismus. And Dismus, you had mentioned about the locations that you call the battlefields, or how did you call them again?
Battleground.
The battlegrounds. But there's also a very interesting battleground in the digital space where the intimidation can still happen. Please tell us, as a political analyst, what impact does that look like?
Well, you know, when you're looking at that political violence, whether it's physical, verbal, or now digital political violence, the consequences are almost the same. Because the intention of the architects of political violence is to intimidation, manipulation, misinformation, and disinformation. For instance, you may have so many people who want to run for political office, but because they fear the digital violence or the verbal violence or the physical violence, they'll not offer themselves for election. What does that mean? It means that people who score an A in this political violence are the ones who get elected into office. And for some reason, there's a good part of Kenyans who actually like leaders who engage in political violence. And they vote for them to get into office, which is unacceptable. In an ideal democracy, you are supposed to have candidates for political office going to the marketplace and selling their ideas, not intimidation, not manipulation, not misinformation, and not disinformation. But for some reason, you'll find Kenyans rewarding these people. They reward them, they give them a political office. And that is why it's critically important for the responsible officers, the Inspector General of Police, to engage in proactive investigation, which is led by intelligence, and ensure that you do not only arrest what you may call Watu wa Mkondo or Kandamoko or Jolwedo, the guys who engage in the actual work, but the people who sign on the dotted lines, the people who give them money. Because when you speak to scholars and practitioners, they say there is evidence that these guys who engage in violence, they do not move on their own motion. They must be given resources. And then for some of these politicians who've got a lot of political power, immense political capital, when they speak, then everybody within their rank and file, they start engaging in insults. And that is the reason why you find the majority of people don't want to run for political office. And also this political violence is used for voter suppression. Because somebody would say, why would I wake up early in the morning to go and cast my ballot if on the way I'm going to stop a bullet, or somebody is going to give me a beating? So they decide to stay at home. And in my view, if the responsible officers under President Ruto does not take proactive action, then this political violence, anchored in misinformation and disinformation, may corrupt the elections for next year, and Kenyans will not get the leaders that they deserve. Kenyans will get people who have scored in political violence. And if that is the case, and you know, there's again, studies have been done. There's a thin line between political violence and meritocracy. If Kenya wants to go to Singapore, if you want to create wealth and employment opportunities for everybody else, you must place a premium on meritocracy. Majority of people who have meritocracy have no time for political violence. People who have challenges in meritocracy, people who have challenges with character, capacity, and competence, place a huge premium on political violence. And you know, there are a number of initiatives across Kenya. Like, for instance, there's a gentleman called Bosire. Bosire is an ODM official who comes from Kisii. They're establishing now committees to vet leaders at a community level, at a county level, that if there is evidence that you've ever participated in political violence, evidence you've ever stolen somebody's cow, then they'll put a red flag on your name so that you're not elected to office. Believe you me, the three of us here, all of us will know the candidates who are offering themselves for election from the MCA level who scores an A in political violence. Why can't we call them out? And I think we have an ethical responsibility in the media as analysts not to place a premium on people on political violence. For instance, I come from Western Kenya. Why would a politician go to Amatanga and cause political violence? You may be surprised to know that in cases, some politicians have been banned from attending matangas on account that when they open their mouths, they insult everybody. And I think we need more of those proactive actions. And if, as a nation, we are not proactive, then we are about to join Haiti in that WhatsApp group.